Hi, I'm Matthew, and this is,
I'm Julian.
and we are from the Singapore FinTech Association, the InsurTech Subcommittee. We're here today at the Insure Innovator Connect Asia 2025.
We're in Singapore today, and you can find out more on our socials to see all the coverage on this event.
Hi, welcome to IIC 2025. Right, we have a special guest today. Why don't you introduce yourself, right, to our audience out there?
Hi, I'm Varun from Singlife. I look after innovation and ecosystem. So broadly works with insurtech partners, health tech partners to create new propositions for our customers, to create value for them, and as we say, a better way to living life. And that's what we try to achieve for our customers.
So that's very interesting, right? And I need to ask, what are the key strengths that set you apart as an innovator in the insurance market?
See, Singlife was one of the first insurance licenses granted after a long time in Singapore. And you had an insurtech coming together with a traditional insurance company, bringing the DNA together. That's something which is very unique. And it was built from the foundation of how do you do better every day from that perspective. So that's unique. So we have done some of the firsts in the market. So Singlife account was one of the first in the market to have a way to have savings component along with a debit card at that time. We have done one of the first dementia product in market now. We're one of the first ones to have mental health as a product for corporates to offer to its employees from that perspective. So the focus and obsession to always keep striving to do better is something what sets us apart.
So I'm curious because you went through a bit of like new products and all. What about partnership? What sort of growth have you driven through innovative partnership?
See, the way I look at it is this, right? There's some partnerships you look at for distribution, but there are a lot of partnerships you look at for creation of proposition because you have the distribution channel,
Yes.
but you want to create those propositions because there are capabilities you may not have already.
Right.
So I give example, right? Mental health,
Mhm.
right? We do not have a bunch of counselors and coaches and stuff in our own office, right? So we need to find the right partners. We're doing workplace well-being and workplace gamification. Then we partner with somebody who has a proven platform to be able to do that, to bring it to the customer base. So there is a lot more focus on how do you create new propositions. That's one category of partner. Distribution, there is a merit to those partners. So GXS Bank, for example, as a digital bank. So we recently launched with them that for every dollar you have in the savings, in the wealth product there, you get $3 of insurance coverage embedded onto it
Wow.
from that perspective. This was the first step for a digital bank to be able to position something like that. We launched a subscription product with Dr. Anywhere that if you pay this money, you will get subsidized telemedicine across the year. Plus, you will get this much accident coverage protection on top of it as a bundle together. So there are those distribution-led partnerships and there are proposition-led partnerships. So that's how we look at it. And there is a balance of both. They don't compete with each other. You need both of them engines to fire. You need the supply and demand side to work together in parallel.
So I spotted, a few technological information that you have, right, in terms of partners and all. So I'm very, very curious, how does the technology part, right, works with your, products distribution or even designs and ecosystem?
See, the way I look at it is this, right? You need to get the proposition right where this is something which a customer values or this addresses a customer need. Honestly, technology is not that big of a barrier in insurance industry. We are not sending rockets to moon. Most of it is flow of information from point A to point B. And in our industry, there are several things which are non-real time from that perspective, which is how it is, right? So I do not see technology as a massive barrier per se in any shape or form. Yes, it can be enabler, it can probably smoothen things up, fasten things up, but solving the intent part of it is the more important point. Technology, we have people who are very smart, they can figure it out. So
Right.
that's
It's an enabler in a way.
is an enabler. It's an important thing, but I'm more obsessed of getting the right customer pain
Right.
point, right proposition,
Right.
structure the right packaging from that perspective for the person. The digital delivery or the technology part is important, but that can follow. It usually that is rarely a deal breaker. Our people are very smart; they can solve those things.
So I'm curious then, how do you describe a successful project that you have run?
See, success is the factor of do customers value it?
Mhm.
If there is enough traction, if customers value, sometimes customers would come back with a feedback that they like this part doesn't, right? Numbers don't lie.
Yes.
Simple. These numbers don't lie. As an example, as simple as that.
So I think in the current market right now is actually fast changing with all the different, changing terms of AI as well, or even just marketing itself changes, right? So as an innovating or innovator, lead innovator, right? What's your take to that?
See, technology, like for example, bunch of AI use cases and stuff for AI for marketing and stuff. There is massive merit to it,
Mhm.
but you have to also understand a lot of generative AI is non-deterministic.
Mhm.
What it means is you cannot guarantee that this is the response every time you do it, it will come, which restricts the capability.
Mhm.
So, from that perspective, if you're doing some social memes generation, it's okay. But if you're describing benefits of a product to people,
Right.
that if this happens, this is what the product covers for you, you cannot have any variability in it. You need to be 100% of the time, your answer needs to be that same.
Yes.
So, which is why there needs to be a right balance of where you need deterministic technologies,
Mhm.
where you can have certain innovations around using non-deterministic technologies. There are uses to it. So you have, for example, scripts and stuff generated. To simplify them, you want an infographic to be generated, which is using the text you have given already.
Right.
So you cannot go and imagine the text. That that use case works. The use case works from that perspective. So it's very important to not throw any technology to every problem and expect it works.
So as a head of innovation, right, what do you envision the future of innovation to be like?
See, the way I look at it is, can I solve problems which people have? Or when I explain them, they can recognize that these are the problems they will have.
Mhm.
I'll give you a very simple example. People purchase a term life for their family, that if, God forbid, something happens to me, then my daughter and wife are taken care of.
Right.
But now there is a challenge. Let's assume something happens to me. They get, let's say, $4 million. Is there a right mechanism, and the child is not grown up and stuff,
Mhm.
they start to spend it too fast.
Mhm.
So, can I put mechanisms to ensure that there is a structure to help them, that ensure that the money lasts
Right.
from that perspective? So, that's when I explain that. Do you trust your kids? Because you do not know.
Mhm.
May God give you a long life, but God forbid something happens to you in 2 years. Do you believe your kids would be mature enough that day
Mhm.
to be able to take those decisions themselves, to manage that amount of money on their own? Then the customer's like, okay, I understand. So, okay, if I'm there, then I do this. If not, then I would like, what can the options be? And say, okay, here are options. This option, we can help you, will ensure a capital protected monthly income for your kids till the time they're alive.
Mhm.
So this lasts for longer. This one will split half of it one time, half of it in this way.
Right.
So other example, a person has, let's say, a will and everything,
Mhm.
but they have one house and two kids.
Mhm.
Now the person passes away. That day there is a challenge in the family.
Right.
Both kids, how do they share the house? How do they share the house? And one person, so who takes the house and who pays money to the other one to take the house?
Yes.
Right?
Common problems.
Correct. So that's when you explain that to a
Mhm.
customer, says, okay, what can I do? I'm like, okay, so let's assume your house is worth, say, 2 million.
Mhm.
And we extrapolated. What you could do is you could have a term life for 2.5 million for the second child, and one child who's living with you gets the house. That's an example. I'm not saying this
Yes.
is the solution.
This is not financial advice.
So absolutely, which is
Yeah.
why this is not financial advice. I'm just giving you a scenario.
Yes. Yes.
So this is the way you can prevent. So can I have a way that I can enable customers
Mhm.
to foresee possible challenges?
Mhm.
And then they decide what's right for their family. They may say that, okay, no, give the house to one child, the other house will get whatever is my cash left over from CPF.
Yes.
And that's absolutely fine.
Mhm.
But can we create a way that they can learn about potential challenges in those scenarios so that they can take a better informed decision? We are there to help them with those decisions, execute those decisions,
Mhm.
and empower them to take those decisions. If
Right.
I can bring that empowering the end customer, that for me is success.
Well, that's great insight, right? In fact, I have one last question that I'd like to ask you because when it comes to innovation, people might be very, very skeptical about it. They are worried that no, their jobs are being lost. In fact, out there, people are saying that maybe one day AI will take over the jobs of financial advisors and all. What's your take on this?
So you see, there is difference, right? So think of it this way. If you're saying that, okay, can you compare these two documents and everything? Sure. But the example I gave you, if something happens, what would you want? How would you want your family to be taken care of?
Mhm.
Would you want to give house to one and the CPF money to other? Would you want it to be split in certain way? Would you want an income stream to be generated for your family because your wife is non-working? She will not have a recurring income, and one pot of money, then the family will squabble on how to spend. How would you want your family to be taken care of? So when that empathy comes, maybe someday technology comes to that level of understanding human emotions, human insecurities, because a lot of these decisions are not rule based. A parent may say, this child is the one taking care of me, he or she is staying with me versus the other one.
Right.
So it is not, a lot of these decisions and discussions are not rule based.
Right.
So which is where, and maybe someday technology will be there, and technology can enable absolutely.
Thank you very much, sir, for all your insights. Thank you.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed our podcast interview just now. This podcast interview is brought to you by IIC, SFA, and MESSION.
And we hope you enjoy the Insure Innovator Connect Asia 2025 in Singapore. We sure did it.
We're looking forward to meeting you again in our IC future events.
See you next time.
See you next time.
See you. Cheers.